Now, when we talk about this last bullet point, ignorance and Dharma, ignorance refers to being unaware that what we're doing, right, in our lives, our actions, our work, our deeds, right, being totally unaware of what we're doing and that it's generating negative karma. And that's what ignorance means, is being unaware of. It's not, ignorance is not to be confused with stupidity. Stupidity is when you know something is wrong and then you do it. So what we need to do is become educated, recognize with our lives that we need to avoid these negative actions, turn away from ignorance and Dharma. And Dharma means duty. Everyone knows what he or she should do in life. We're naturally called to do good things, even though we all face temptations. So by following that call of goodness, right, regardless if you're Hindu or Buddhist, following your duty. And then what happens there is you start to generate good karma, and then you start to move up the samsaric wheel. Start to move up and up and up. Now, all of these faiths address the question of the afterlife, whether it's Western or Eastern. In the Western faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, it's called different things. Could be called heaven, could be called paradise, the afterlife. The opposite would be hell, Gehenna, the everlasting fire. So for those faiths, for those people in those faiths who don't follow the covenant, who don't seek redemption, who don't seek repentance and forgiveness, then that's what happens, reward or punishment, only given one chance with the Abrahamic faiths. Very different is the Eastern faiths. There's all those different lives that we lead. What we want to do is we want to stop the samsaric wheel from turning. And a lot of people wonder about that, why they would want that to happen. Well, have to think back to when you were little and you were growing up. A lot of us, we don't have memories, thankfully, of what it was like to be potty trained, the stress that must have caused. Likewise, how hard it was to learn to walk, to ride a bicycle, how scared you were on the first day of school, being away from your parents, what that was like, all that stress. And that's just in those first few years of life. That's not tackling what it's like to go through puberty, right? When your body's changing and your mind is flushed with hormones and you don't know what's going on. And on top of that, you're expected to learn algebra. And I just don't understand why we make teenagers learn algebra when it's just, oh, it's just crazy. Yeah. And then heartbreak. And then you start to get older and you start to see friends and family members die. And it's just really sad because you know that you're going to die. So all these lives, it's not good. What you want to do is you want to stop that samsaric wheel from turning. How does that happen? Generate good karma. And then what can happen in Hinduism, you can reach moksha. Moksha is associated with Hinduism. And then that's when your Atman, that person's Atman, breaks free of that samsaric cycle, broken free. And then at death, it returns to Brahman, rejoins Brahman. And that's what everyone wants to happen, is that essence, that bit of self, goes and returns to the ultimate from which it came. That's what we want to happen. Buddhism is different. The same teaching applies, right, with generating karma, but then with Buddhism, It deals with enlightenment. When you follow the teachings of the Buddha and you meditate deeply, very deep, you come to a state of enlightenment. And then you reach nirvana, what's called nirvana. Interesting thing about nirvana, it's experienced in this life. What the Buddha taught is that you can become enlightened, avoid ignorance, follow Dharma, do good deeds, and then you reach enlightenment in this life. And then when you die, you die. Your essence is at rest. It doesn't pass on to be passed on to another, be planted into another person, which is what we all want to happen. Wow. So all of those miscellaneous doctrines, all those different teachings that we've tackled here. All right. That was a lot of fun. Until the next lecture, be well, do good work, and keep in touch.